insurance. To be honest, at the time I thought it was a good idea because if you want insurance, you speak to an insurance person, not a travel person. So I felt it was a better deal for the holiday maker. But this, combined with people now going online to book stuff and they're not having somebody reminding them all the time about travel insurance, has probably meant that less people are now protected than they used to be. To see if this is the case, Holiday Extras carried out a survey amongst travellers to find out what they felt about travel insurance and what they felt the cost would be if they weren't to have any insurance anyway. My next guest is Clarke-Cowell, who's the Director of Customer Experience at Holiday Extras, who are an award-winning company for holiday extras, obviously, and especially for travel insurance. And the first thing we need to find out is, why do we actually need insurance in the first place?
Well, I think it's very important that everybody takes out travel insurance when they go on a holiday. You never really know what might happen when you're away, and it's an exciting time. Everybody's excited to go on holiday, but there are obviously pitfalls that could occur to you. Mm-hmm. And it's just peace of mind, really. It's a safety net, if you like, for what might happen, whether it's medical emergency or cancellation, or indeed something might get stolen or damaged of your property while you're away.
If it's a medical emergency, won't the host country just look after us like we do when people come here?
Well, we do have a European health insurance card, the EHIC, mm-hmm. And it does cover a certain amount of medical care that you might need, but it doesn't, for instance, cover you for repatriation should you need to be repatriated while away. Mm-hmm. And this survey that we've conducted showed that lots of people are confused by what the EHIC card actually covers. It's certainly not a replacement for a full travel insurance policy.
So by how much do we underestimate how much it could cost us to get medical treatment when we're away?
Well, Holiday Extras ran this study in conjunction with Helix Insurance Services, mm-hmm. and it revealed that there was a significant discrepancy, actually, between how much we might be charged for an emergency treatment abroad and how much we thought that emergency treatment might cost. So, for example, people go to Spain in great numbers each year. About 13% of UK travellers travel to Spain. And if you were to have the unfortunate incident of a heart attack while you were in Spain and you required treatment and repatriation and you didn't have travel insurance, that would cost you something like £25,000. We asked about 2,000 people around the UK what they thought that mm-hmm. that might cost, and actually the estimate was around 15,000. So there's a real discrepancy between how much that would cost you and how much people thought it would cost. And whichever way, that's quite a lot of money to have to pay out. I certainly haven't got it in my bank account waiting to pay.
No, neither have I, unfortunately. Was there much difference between what people thought the cost would be between Europe and the United States?
Well, yes, and Spain is a relatively indicative European country. There's certainly some European countries where it's cheaper, and equally there's some that are more expensive. But actually, the USA is the single most expensive place to receive medical treatment. So if you had a heart attack in the USA and required the same level of care, you'd need to be treated and repatriated back to the UK. The cost of that would cost you £80,000. And when we asked people how much they thought it would cost, it was much closer to sort of £27,000. So again, an even more significant discrepancy and a huge price to pay, and a price that could be avoided by simply taking out the right level of cover before you travel.
So how many UK travellers still travel without having insurance?
Well, this is a really interesting statistic that came out of the survey. As I said, we asked 2,000 people what their travel insurance provision looked like, and 51% of the people that we spoke to said that they don't always purchase travel insurance every time they go away. So those guys are saying that they'll take a call on it when they're travelling, and half the people said that they wouldn't always take it out. Even more shocking, I think, are the 1 in 10 people that we spoke to who said that they've never purchased travel insurance for their travel. Really sort of taking a risk there by never purchasing it.
I know somebody quite well who has a lot of medical prior medical conditions, and he was going to lie on his insurance form. How easy would... I managed to convince him out of it, and he grumbled about paying how much he had to pay. But
well done, you. It's very difficult if you have if you do have a pre-existing condition. It is very important that you do declare that at the point at which you put your insurance, because any treatment that then needs to be undertaken as a result of that treatment or that condition is not covered by your insurance unless you've declared it. And it used to be that it was quite hard to get travel insurance for existing conditions, but now there's a range of policies available, and I would say that most people can be covered in some way or another. Yes, you have to pay a premium for that sometimes, but it's the cover is certainly there and certainly available.
The last expensive insurance I took out was when I was working on an animal sanctuary and I needed to be covered in case the lion attacked me.
Oh, goodness me.
And my bank insisted that my free travel insurance covered me, but it took a lot of questions to find out actually it didn't. So how vigilant should you be when you choose a policy?
Well, I think there's an interesting point there. You know, a lot of us do get a level of travel insurance cover when we take out various bank accounts, and that cover is sufficient for a certain amount of travel, but I think the important thing is to be really, really clear on what you're covered for. And we advise that you when you purchase your insurance, you're very clear on what you're doing, where you're travelling to, how many people you want to insure. As I said, you need to declare your medical conditions and then be really clear on what you're covered for and what you're not covered for. For example, if you're doing extreme sports, and I don't know about whether a lioness would be considered an extreme sport, probably not, but you know there will be a level of cover that would cover you for that. But you do have to be really clear on whether you're covered or not at the point at which you make that booking.
I often say that the cheap travel insurance just covers you to stay in the room and look out the window and nothing else. You need to be very careful.
It's a little bit more than that, but I think I hear what you're saying, yes.
Yeah. You can keep up to date with travel news and leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Still to come on the show, we speak suntan lotions with Joni Aldrich, a cancer specialist and another presenter on UK Health Radio. You may be wondering why I'm using an American expert on suntan lotions because I'm UK based, but don't forget that an awful lot of people travel to America and the Caribbean for their holidays and they will be buying American produced suntan lotions, so the information is relevant and stuff you should be aware. It might make you take other stuff instead of buying stuff locally, but we'll find out soon when I speak to Joni. But at the moment, I'm speaking to Clarke-Cowell, Director of Customer Experience at Holiday Extras. We're speaking travel insurance, which I know lots of people think is a turn-off, but anyway, it is very important. But there is one drawback with insurance, whether it's travel or home and contents, anything, and that's the small print. Why is there so much small print? There's always a problem with travel insurance or any insurance. Why is there so much small print?
Well, I think it's a complex area. You know, the insurance companies are there are their businesses, and they want to ensure that they get the kind of return on investment that they're putting into the product. And at the same time, people need to be covered for the correct level of cover for them. So I think the small print is there for a reason. It's important that it's there. It's important that there's a shared understanding between the person taking out the insurance and the insurance company around what is covered and what isn't, and what various exclusions there may be.
We've really talked about health and medical, but obviously it covers if your holiday's cancelled or if you have something stolen. How do you go about making a claim if your holiday's cancelled?
Well, normally that's included in the insurance documentation that you're sent through. So, it's important that stuff is available to when you're away. It doesn't have to be a paper copy these days. You can have it as a file on your smartphone or some other way of transporting that. But in the event that something happens, in the unfortunate event that you need to claim on the insurance, it's always important to have that information with you and to be able to put a call in as soon as possible to declare what's happened and ask for advice really on what to do next. So
if you've lost something on holiday while you're away, you need to sort it out straight away. You don't wait until you come home.
That's certainly our advice, yeah. Yep.
The thing is with claiming, isn't it designed to be so complicated and so much of a faff that it just puts people off bothering?
I don't think so. I think, again, it's there as a service for people to do. I think the judgment that we all need to make is the thing that I'm going to claim for worth the aggravation of going through the process? And, it's not that difficult. You normally put a call into a call centre and let those guys take care of it. But I think, there's a big difference between someone that has unfortunately been struck ill or has had an accident while they're away and really needs that help, needs financial support to get either repatriated back to the UK or needs to go into a hospital in the local area and receive medical care, and someone that's perhaps lost a camera. But both those two things are equally important to different people. Particularly with things like possessions, you can now take out things like gadget cover that would cover you for your phone or for your electronic devices, and that's really easy to claim on. You if something happens to them, then all you have to do is put a call in and get the process rolling.
We're coming up to the peak summer season. It's not that far away. What advice would you give to people who are about to go on their travels this summer?
Well, I think my advice falls into three areas. I think number one, I would advise that people take out a travel insurance policy at the point of booking their holiday. Don't let that wait until the last minute, because at the point at which you book, and if you take out insurance there and then your holiday is covered for any cancellation that happens to the holiday. My second piece of advice would be absolutely clear when you make the booking on what you need, what your requirements are. Don't lie about any pre-existing conditions, for instance. Be clear about any extreme activity that you're going to be doing. Be clear on what's excluded from the policy that you're booking. And my final piece of advice is, don't leave it to the last minute if you can at all help it. Although, if you do, it's still possible to be insured right up to the point at which you travel for medical and possessions while you're away.
So how does Holiday Extras cover benefit the clients?
Well, we have a range of different policies. So you can book a single trip insurance, you can book a multi-trip. We have a dedicated pre-existing medical condition cover. As I said, we have gadget cover. So there's all sorts of different policies that travellers can undertake. If they go onto our website, they can see the full range of different services that we offer. And we have a fully manned UK call centre that's there to help guide anyone through that needs a little bit of extra help.
Am I right in thinking you've won quite a few industry awards for your travel insurance?
We have indeed. You're going to put me on the spot now and ask me to tell you exactly which ones.
No.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but our insurance has certainly picked up quite a few awards along the way, yes.
Yeah, I'm an ex-travel agent, so I know how popular it is in the industry. So.
Yes, great. Good to know.
So how can listeners find out more about getting cover through you?
Well, I would suggest going to our website. We've put a link on the homepage at www.holidayextras.com. That link gives a bit more flavour to the research that we undertook. You can go on there. We put a little infographic in there that shows, just brings to life some of the research findings. And there's some pretty shocking stuff in there around the kind of discrepancies between what people think they need and what they would actually need. And then while they're on the homepage, there's also a range of different extras that you can have as you're preparing for those exciting summer holidays, including travel insurance, of course.
Finally, just before we go, what was the biggest thing that shocked you from the survey?
I think it was that number around 1 in 10 people having never bought travel insurance. In fact, just a small anecdote for you. We did a user sort of research group recently where we got sort of 30 of our customers into a room. And we were just asking them about the things that they do as they're preparing for their holiday. What do they go through in that kind of preparation stage? And travel insurance came up, and the room was really divided. Again, this 50% thing. You had half the people, and they tended to be seasoned travellers, people that have travelled a lot, at the older end of the spectrum, who would always take out insurance because they understand the value of it and understand what it means. And then you had the other part of the group that tended to be younger people, flying much more by the seat of their pants, that were very happy to travel without insurance. And one side of the room actively berated the other side for not taking it. They were vehemently opposed to the concept of not taking out travel insurance. So I think for me that's the biggest shock, is this high volume of people that are travelling and really putting themselves at considerable risk by going without having an adequate level of cover available to them. And
just one more time, can you remind us of the website, please?
So the website is www.holidayextras.com.
Checking it out before you check in on the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com. Still to come on the show, consumer advice for those of you who are travelling to France for the football. You lucky so-and-sos. But I'm bringing the subject and topic back to cancer again for this week's show. My guest now is Joni Ulrich, who's also a presenter on UK Health Radio. I did a mail out to various presenters on the station because I was interested in finding out about skin cancer, which is why I had Clive de Car